Hello there! Have you ever considered what would happen to your body, including your liver, arteries, weight, abdominal fat, and even your brain, if you eliminated sugar from your diet for a whole month? Well, right in the first week, and especially after the first few days, you will face an intense craving, both psychological and cerebral, to consume any kind of soda, juices, sweets, and that happens because your body needs to adapt to a new way of using energy, as it was previously accustomed to receiving large amounts of sugar daily. Sugar provides a quick but harmful source of energy. When consumed, it rapidly raises your blood sugar levels. In response, the pancreas releases insulin to distribute this sugar to the cells. However, over time, these insulin releases become irregular, leading the body's cells to develop resistance to it. This is what we call in medicine as increased peripheral resistance to insulin. This results in an increased blood sugar, which can turn into triglycerides in the liver and cause damage to the arteries, leading to the formation of atherosclerotic plaques. When you stop consuming sugar, even after a few hours, your body needs to seek other sources of energy. It starts to break down more complex carbohydrates and fats in a more natural and efficient manner. Your brain and organs need sugar, but they can obtain it from better and more natural sources than white sugar and sodas. Right in the first days without sugar, you will feel fatigue and irritation, and even tiredness. This happens because the brain is accustomed to receiving the quick energy spike from sugar. This quick energy spike leads to the release of dopamine, which is our neurotransmitter related to pleasure. So without this quick and easy pleasure, you will initially feel more tired and demotivated, and will start to crave sweets to rid yourself of this feeling. And because of this relationship between sweets and pleasure is why there's many cases of dependency on sweets, and they can even be compared to the dependency on other substances like alcohol and tobacco that are known to be very addictive. An important tip to avoid having a relapse during this process is, instead of cutting sugar 100%, all of a sudden, you need to start by gradually decreasing the sugar consumption until you stop. This gradual decrease avoids negative effects by allowing your brain to calmly adjust to the gradual reduction of pleasure that is provided by the sweets. But if for any reason you skipped the first part of this video and simply decided to stop consuming sugar abruptly, do not worry, in 2 to 3 weeks your mood and energy will improve significantly. Before, the sugar consumption caused quick spikes in the blood glucose levels, leading to frequent hunger between these spikes. Now, by consuming fruits and cereals, you experience slower sugar spikes that are more balanced, leading to a more balanced release of insulin. Therefore, you will notice that it now takes longer until you feel hungry again. These fasts between meals are excellent for your health because now your pancreas will not need to keep creating and secreting new insulin all the time, which allows the pancreas to rest, reducing its overload and allowing your body to use fats and complex carbohydrates for energy. But it's not just your pancreas that will thank you, but your entire body, which will now be increasingly less resistant to insulin, since it's no longer being released all the time by your pancreas. This goes along with a series of pleasant changes, such as reduction of weight, improvement of arterial health, and reduction on the abdominal fat. You will feel less hungry and will become increasingly easier to avoid frequent snacking. With sugar, the sensation of hunger disappears and returns quickly, but without it, the release and absorption of energy occurs slower, facilitating hunger control. Foods that previously seemed moderately sweet, like chocolates and sodas, will now seem excessively sweet. Your tongue and brain will adapt to less sweet flavors, making fruits previously considered not so sweet and delicious taste delicious, while sodas will seem unpleasant. These changes in taste and brain usually occur in 10 to 20 days. Now, between 4 to 6 weeks we will start to observe the biggest changes in the liver, which previously stored excess fat in the form of triglycerides. With less circulating insulin and a more efficient release, the liver will reduce its triglyceride levels. If you had fatty liver disease, the reduction in sugar consumption, alcohol, and even the practice of exercises will decrease the triglycerides and the bad fats in the artery and lead to the healing and even the cure of your fatty liver disease. Visceral fats, such as those in the abdomen and in the legs, will also be used to generate energy, leading to this reduction of your whole body fat percentage. Regarding cholesterol, decreasing sugar consumption and increasing physical activity will help reduce LDL, which is colloquially known as bad cholesterol, and increase the HDL, which is colloquially known as good cholesterol. In addition, the quality of cholesterol improves, and this is the most important change because you will see a reduction in the small and dense types of cholesterol that cause damage in the arteries. Sweeteners can be an option if you find it difficult to completely eliminate sugar. Although they are not perfect and may have adverse side effects, according to some studies. They are generally considered less harmful than sugar. Moreover, they are sweeter than sugar, so you need to use less of them. Now, finally, for a successful transition into reducing sugar consumption, there are some tips. First, you need to avoid tempting sugary items. Stop buying these usual items like sodas and chocolates. If you are a chocolate lover, a good alternative is to switch to high cocoa content chocolates like 70 to 80%. Consume them in small quantities and this will not be harmful to you. Another tip is gradual sugar reduction. We talked about it already. You don't have to stop it abruptly. Actually, it's going to be better for you and it's going to be easier to stop if you stop it gradually. So you don't reduce the consumption of sugar to zero on the first day. You reduce it a little bit on the first day, a little bit more on the second day, and you do it over the course of a week or a whole month, depending on how you feel. Another tip is to combine it with other lifestyle changes. In addition to reducing sugar, it's important to do other things that are going to help your health, like eliminating alcohol consumption, increasing physical activity. These complementary changes will not only help in adjusting your metabolism, but will also bring significant improvements in mood, irritability, sleep quality, and interpersonal relationships. And the final tip is subscribe to this channel. This way, you will have access to more tips on how to improve your health, to live longer and better. I hope this video helped you, and if you liked it, give it a like. Remember, your like can help save lives. I loved seeing you here, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.